That would have been way more fun to tape. See, this is why you should show up live to team calls, because what just went down for the last 4 minutes was way fun. Okay, just saying. So welcome everyone to the Monday night Team Do It Now team call. I can't believe it's the last one for the whole year. Guys, I've been doing team calls now for over a year, which is just blows my mind away. And I love coming together on Monday nights live. I know lots of you, I was like panicked tonight, like who's going to come? And Mindy does a really cool thing that I'm going to start after the first of the year, where she does like an event page for the team call. And she does it on like global. So it's like anybody can log in, right? So even like customers or challengers, you could share it with anyone. It wouldn't just be in the team page, which I think is really cool. And people can ask questions, but I was like, who's going to come tonight? Like I had only had like Megan liked it and Amanda liked it. And I was like, I hope other people are coming. So I'm hoping that like that might be a fun way for us to interact in a different capacity, and us to share a little bit more information if you guys had questions or you wanted to invite other people, because this call is open to, it's open to the team, but I'm happy to have people who might be interested just like quick shoot me a message and say, hey, so-and-so is going to join us. So we're going to do that new for the coming new year. I hope you guys had an awesome holiday with your family, and if you didn't, now's the time to like make the new year, right? Like this is what happened yesterday is yesterday, holiday's over. Like, there's a lot of people who don't have family or have made their own family. Like Mindy had put up a post yesterday about just like, she's created a tribe of the people she really wants to surround herself with, and those people that's what I believe we do as coaches, is we create these communities with like-minded individuals who love each other, who love what it is we do, in helping other people, and are here on this mission to end this trend of obesity and to help people live healthier, fulfilling lives. And that's what we're doing. I went live this morning on my page, like, let's just do this. I feel like crap after yesterday too. I ate too much crap, too many cookies, gotta go. Like, but we just gotta keep trucking forward and not beat ourselves up about it and just kind of move forward. So tomorrow is a huge day, guys. I hope everybody knows what tomorrow is. Raise your hand. Tomorrow, the 27th, everybody. Okay, I'm just gonna quick recap, because tomorrow is huge. Chanel, you're brand new to the call. Sue, I think you've seen us before. That's awesome. I'm glad to see you guys here. So tomorrow, super duper amazing launch of, I was telling my mom, she's like, that's awesome. My mom, who's 67 years old. Yes, it's awesome. Everything from on demand that we have ever released, right? Everything accessible to everyone with a challenge pack with Shakeology for 30 days, the portion fix containers and an explanation of how to use them. And then, of course, they have it specific to each program right on demand. And everything that our company has ever released so far and will release for this entire calendar year, right? So most of it, I don't know anything that's coming. I have no idea what's coming. Most people don't, unless they have some kind of inside scoop. I'm sure we'll have programs that release this year, and you will have, and your customers will have access to the entire thing. It's insane. So $199 for that challenge pack, right? For brand new customers or current customers. So if you've had a customer who's already, people get this all twisted. If you've ever had a customer before who's already ordered a challenge pack, it's okay. We can upgrade them very easily. So if you have any questions about this, it's 3012. So 3012 is the FAQ. Just go to, log on, Coach Online Office, FAQ, just type in 3012. And it's the most comprehensive. They're getting more and more lengthy in these FAQs. They want to put all the info in there for you. So I know there's been some questions about how to upgrade people. It's super easy. Just do your research before you call with them to Coach Relations, or before they go and log on, just so you want to know what's the best way to get them to their next upgrade. But guys, challenge pack is where it's at, and you get 3 SC points. So there's no reason every single person on this call cannot end this year hitting Success Club, right? We're going to help two brand new people get started. Guys, everybody today is they feeling like I did, like, well, I had too many cookies, I shouldn't eat in those apps. So after you get off this call tonight, I want you to spend the next 1 hour just messaging. You guys, we've done so many power hours. You know how to do this. They're taped. They're in the lab for you. Like, everything is right there. So just get out there and invite. And that's what it's going to take, seriously. So I'm really excited tonight to bring you my brand new success partner. I have, you've heard me talk before to you guys both on team calls. I've also talked at Super Saturdays about success partners. And I truly believe in them because when I have utilized them, they've been fantastic. But I've had some not great experiences, as I think we all do. I've been in this business for 3.5 years, and you initially connect to somebody and you're like, yeah. And then it doesn't kind of work out and you're like, oh no, what do I do? You kind of have to have courageous conversations, or you just kind of gravitate towards separating from that person. You grow your business, you move on, and then you just are kind of like out there doing your thing, but feel like, God, like if I rocked with somebody, like this could really be it. So we had talked about it at Super Saturday in October, and I was like, Shane, I need a new success partner. Like, who I had before is just not working for me anymore. And she's like, all right, I'm on it. And so that's my coach, right? That's my upline coach. And I go to her when I need things still as a 4-star diamond coach. And so Mindy is an amazing coach. I had met her years ago, my first summit in 2013. I had met her like poolside with her husband, Ryan. And just really quick in passing, Shane and I were there on our first kind of excursion with Beachbody. And Lou, who is a good friend of mine, is a good friend of Mindy's. And so we're all part of the same bigger team, guys. So we all the way up the chain go up to the founding coach, which is of our little arm of the organization under Beachbody, which is Monica. And she has amazing leaders under her team, like Becky Brissett, who you guys have heard on the National Wake Up Call, and her sister Christina. And I've been watching Christina since that first National Wake Up Call. So I know of Christina and Becky, and I've met them a few times. I don't expect them to know me. They have so many people in their Diesel Nation, if you've ever heard of them, out of Miami. They've got an amazing team. And Mindy happened to find Becky on social media, and they connected. Mindy is in Texas. Becky is in Florida in Miami, and they connected. And so Mindy is Becky Brissett's personally sponsored coach. I am blessed to work with her. She is a rock star, 2-time, just has killed 3-time elite. She's going to sink that by the end of this year. So she's already set to hit elite this year. And she is built amazing leaders under her. And so I just truly feel like I can learn a lot from her. She can learn a lot from me. We have a lot of good energy between the two of us. We're both kind of like no BS. We both curse. You know that about me. So don't mind if she curses too. That's just who we are. And so I'm really excited to have her come to you tonight to talk about something that I want to get stronger at. And that's what a good success partner does, right? Like, you balance each other. Like, sometimes you're good at something that they're not good at. She has done a lot of personal development herself over the years and has done some great trainings with Tony Robbins himself. And so I'm excited to turn it over to my awesome new success partner, Mindy Hord. So Min, thanks so much for joining us tonight.
Thank you for having me. It's been cool to work with her, and now to get to know you guys as a team. I don't know how many of you are in our Emerald group that we're running that started today, but I think that's the neatest thing about when you work with another coach that's not really in your downline, is that you get to know them and you get to connect with people on their team. So I'm very, very happy to be working with Tamara, but also that you guys are letting me into your life, and I hope that I can make some impact on you somehow, and that, in this industry and in this organization and in this community, we're kind of really about just kind of swapping back and forth favors, because she spoke on my team call, I think 2 weeks ago. And now, and that's the same thing, is that I'm going to be here for you guys. And I hope that whatever I can do for you, that one day you can pay back to me, and back and forth. It's not really a keeping score, but really it's the power of having a good relationship with people inside of our community. And that's what I'm going to be talking about on this call tonight. When I got started, and I think many of you probably can relate to this because this is most people's natural fear, is that they don't want to become a salesman as a coach. And because they see it all the time on Facebook, there's people selling also like wine and all sorts of weird stuff now. It's just, and they don't want to be that person. They don't want to be that person reaching out and inviting somebody into this, get rich, quick scheme. And, so what I found, and I never really understood this until I was probably into the business about 3 years, is that I actually saw success pretty quick as far as other people's eyes. And I didn't know what I was doing. People kept asking me, what are you doing? What are you doing? What are you doing? Well, now as I've gone on, as I've gotten more intentional, as I've dug more into personal development, not just to fill in the gaps of, my inadequacies or strengthening my weaknesses or tapping into things that hold me back, but really honing in on leadership stuff, I'm realizing what set me apart. And that was the fact that I could always build relationships with people. And I guess this came from the fact, I really don't know, it's hard to say, really pinpoint exactly what causes people to do the things that they do, and I'm going to be talking about that, but I was adopted. I was put up for adoption, and at 9.5 months old, I was shipped from South Korea to the United States. I was unfortunately adopted into a very abusive family, and then from the time I was 15 until, even like about, I guess, 8 years, I was in this house 8 years. I've moved over 30 times. I've been married 3 times. I've lived in 2 different states. I've been all over the place. And so, if you really think about that you have, an infant that, went from one country, one time zone, one, language to, the complete opposite. And then, a young child who's always had to just please everybody to, being 15 years old on the streets on your own from home to home to home to home and moving states, that could really be a recipe for a huge disaster. And I'm not saying that I was not a disaster, because at one point in time, I did label myself and I did identify myself as a disaster. But I somehow survived through all of this. And I really can now look back and realize that, this is where my team kind of inherited the same as relentless. I've always been relentless. And that, although I didn't make the right choices a lot of times and made a lot of things that I considered mistakes or failures, all of these things that I somehow survived are really because I knew how to build relationships with people to get me through it. And it's so easy that if you've been hurt, if you've been let down, that you can easily just say, I'm going to do this all on my own, and you start telling yourself these stories that you believe, that people are going to screw you over, that people can't be trusted, that people are going to do this, and people are going to do that. And it's so important that before we get started about the relationships, that you're able to identify any wrongdoings you've had done to you, any hurts that you've had in the past, whether it's abandonment, just disappointment, being lied to by people, because this is going to carry on into your business. Because if you can't trust people in just an everyday friendship, romantic relationship, business partnership, then it's going to transcend into every, interaction you have with any prospective person. And it can really wreak havoc on your own mental health as a coach and as the culture of your team starts to grow. And that's one thing that I realized, is that I had to really forget anything that had happened in the past and really realize that relationships I'm good at, but I could be better at it. And so I've really taken the time to look at that. And that is why I've survived, is that I didn't look at people as a transaction, and that I was able to really just let go of all of the hurt that people had inflicted upon me, or that I had, inflicted upon myself by having relationships or friendships with certain people. But I really just looked at everybody that I connect with, which is really what I replace the invite of the 4 vital behaviors with, is connect. Everyone I connect with, I want you to be my best friend. I want you to be part of my family, because that's what it is. And that part of these relationships that we're building are not just somebody that you want to sell a big bag of Shakeology or challenge back to, and then if you never see them again, no big deal. Because these are the people that are going to be your business partners. These are the people that are going to be your best friends. These are the people that, you want to truly help. I hope you truly want to help, because when they have reached these, major milestones or even small milestones, and you're not beside them, it's very lonely. We're not designed to be alone forever. People do cut themselves off from, social settings because they've been hurt. But, in the long run, we all need somebody, whether it's somebody to, help carry something, turn on a light, whatever. We are meant to be social creatures. So you need to understand that aspect, is that you want to build relationships with these people. Obviously, I had at one point in time thought that I sucked at relationships because I had been married 3 times. And so obviously, if I could build relationships, what I needed to understand is how to build longevity in my relationships. And that's something that really sticks out in this organization, because we see people who come and they go and they come and they go. And I hear coaches all the time tell themselves these beliefs, systems that they live by, that, people, only are in it for, the money, or, oh, they just want a quick fix, or, and there's these things that people just literally tell themselves, and they categorize everyone that they meet that way. And so I really ask you to just, no matter what anybody's done to you in this business or in the past, that you just forgive and let go and treat each person as an individual, because it's really not fair to carry that baggage from personal past or personal dealings with people, the challenger right before the next person you're reaching out to, because not everybody's the same and you don't know their story. And so what I found is that I hear coaches too also say, I just can't, that person, I can't get them motivated. They have no motivation. They're a lost cause. Just forget about them. And I've had people tell me that, like, just don't even worry about those people. They're worthless. They're never going to do anything, and I've always told myself that, people have believed in me when I didn't believe in myself. And I have proved to myself and to the world that I can come back from some pretty tough spots, and that I can rise above and do amazing things despite how many people didn't believe in me or the rough start that I got. So how dare me judge anybody and say that they're not this or that? I do agree that you don't want to pour 100% of your energy into this one coach that you see this major potential in, and that they're not meeting you halfway. But also, you need to take a look too, that if you truly care about these people and you see them at a sticking point, ask yourself, what can I do? Because, you may have this rock star coach that you just get, that you might just be like, do this, and they do it. They're coachable. They're, accepting of your love and of your support. They're great at recognition. They're great at, finding their motivation and, being able to be fueled by their why. But other people just are not that easy. And really what it has to do is how you connect with them. So and I shared with, and I think that you guys, some of you may have done it or know about it, but if you haven't done it already, I highly suggest you take the test at colorcode.com. This is something that whenever I send out my new coach welcome email, I ask everybody to send out or to send me back via email their results from the colorcode.com and the Languages of Love test. And I do this because, first of all, I used to overwhelm people with their welcome email, here's all this information, blah, 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 and then I never would get a response. Well, that was just overwhelming. I have ADD, and if I looked at something long email, I wouldn't do it either. So I've just kind of simplified it, like, welcome, thank you. If you're wanting to work this business, I want to set up a getting started right call with you, but first I need 2 things from you. I need you to email me back your results from the color code test and also from the 5 love language test. And I send them the link. And then when they, when they send it back, I kind of know where they're wanting to go with it. That they took the time to read the email, they took the time to do it, and then they send it back to me. Also, some people send it to me via text. Some send it to me via Facebook. It also tells me things about them. Do they follow instructions? Because I asked them to send it by email. I did that because I'm trying to get organized, so I have little folders in my Gmail of where I send out the coach welcome email, because tons of times coaches lose those emails, and so I just send it back to them. I don't want to have to retype it or search my email, but I go right to it. And then whatever they send to me, I dump into their folder. So I have all of their stuff, and at times it's been really awesome too, because people have sent me their why, and I'm able to send it back to them. So be organized that, these are people, and as your business grows, you're not able to always remember everything about everyone, but if you can go back and remember those little parts about them, it will mean the world to them. So why I have them do this is because I get to know them. I'm sure you have heard of different, personality tests and done them, but I like the color code. It's broken down into 4 segments: a blue, a red, a yellow, and a white. So I'm a blue, and what is super weird, or not weird, but it tells me things that I would say 85% of the coaches that I sign, guess what? They're blue. Guess what? All of my leaders are. The ones that are rock stars, the ones that are doing great, the ones that are high performers, the ones that like call me their best friend, that call me anytime anything happens. They're blue. Does that mean that the blue personalities are superior in this business? Absolutely not. But I just work well with them. Why? Because they are a version of myself. We get one another. We relate to one another. So I've always told myself that I just don't get along with whites. I can't motivate whites. I can't do this with whites. This sounds this, but I told myself that because the white personality is a lot like my adopted mother. We're estranged. We do not get along. And those were the stories that I told myself. And towards the end of the call, I'm going to kind of go into the Tony Robbins side of it. But those are the stories I told myself, was that like, oh, you know, and as soon as I would get the email back, because every once in a while, and a lot has to do with me. If I'm feeling down about myself, if I'm feeling depressed, if I'm feeling this or that, I start signing whites, people who are depressed, people who are passive aggressive. I mean, white personalities have great personality traits, but I noticed that. So that also should, you know, really ring something into my head, and I hope to yours, is that how you're projecting yourself is who you're going to attract. You know, when you're being yourself, when you're working at your personal best, you're going to attract the people that you work well with. One of my friends, Danielle Natoni, I don't know if you're familiar with her. She's fit and funky. She's a red personality through and true. Like, if you know any of her rockstar coaches, most of them are red personalities. That's why they just hustle, and they hustle hard together. And again, it's not that the red personalities are better than blue or this or that. It's just you work better with who you are. So this gives you kind of an idea of it. And this is great because it gives you an idea of the type of people you're attracting. But also what is good about it is that a yellow personality, that's my husband. Everything's fun. He's 40 years old, but he acts like he's 8. So, you know, I am a serious person. Like, I mean, I like to laugh and I'm sarcastic, but I am a really serious person. Like, I'm always like business all the time, always thinking analytically. So I'm not going to necessarily do well if I'm in a blue mindset when I have a yellow person, you know, that I'm attracting. Because you know what? They're like Tigger. They'll work for you. They'll do anything, but they want to have fun. And so this helps you understand how to motivate people. Because I hear this all the time. I can't motivate somebody. I can't motivate somebody. I can't motivate somebody. Well, everybody's motivated by different. Like, my husband looks at work as like punishment and prison. I look at work as like you know, like with gratitude, that it gives me, you know, freedom. It gives me independence. So that doesn't mean that I'm a better worker than him, or that I have better work ethics. We just look at things differently. But I know how to get him motivated by using the, you know, yellow color code test, logistics on how to get him to do something. You know, if I'm barking orders at him, making it sound like I'm a drill sergeant, I can't get him to take out the trash or do anything. But if I make it fun, you know, or that there's fun at the end, he'll do it. You know, so here's the thing, is that everybody has something that will motivate them. You just have to know how to speak their language. And so one of the things that I wanted to share with you is, like, go to the color code test, check it out. They even have a Facebook page, but like, I bought these simple cards through Leanne Ruff. She did a training for us a couple of years ago. So basically it talks about blues, yellows, whites, and reds. They're like, they have one about time management tips. Time management tips. They have driving core motive. Like for yellow is, you know, fun. Their natural gifts are enthusiasm and optimism. The whites, let's see, it lists all of their different characteristics. One thing they talk about whites is they need to feel good inside, be given space, be respected, be accepted. They want to withhold insecurities, please self and others, be independent, and feel contented. So, you know, knowing those things are really important, of what their values are, what their core beliefs are. That, you know, if they want to feel respected, you don't want to be intrusive into their life. If they want to, you know, withhold their imperfections, like, knowing these things about these people are really important. If you're wanting them to open up to you, if you're wanting to understand them, if you're wanting to build a relationship with them, that you can't just go in, like, if you're, you know, me, I'm like, will pour my heart out. I will tell you anything and not feel upset about it. But I know that the red personalities, the white personalities, they're really about looks and the way it looks to people, and about gaining respect. So they're not going to be as honest and open about their feelings than somebody like myself, but that doesn't mean that you need to disrespect them or that elevate yourself to that you're better than them. You just have to find different ways for them to open up to you. So this has been helpful, and this is like something that, well, you have to buy these, but like if you want to understand the color code, or if you have somebody on your team that's having a really hard time getting to connect with people on their team or getting to motivate them, have them take this test, have them have the people on their team take this test. And the last thing that I really liked about this set is that there is no superior color on the color code, that everybody has their gifts, everybody has their own, things that are weaknesses, but also this tells you here that there's ones that it points out the colors here, that some are the uncomfortable opposites, some have complementary similarities, comfortable opposites, complementary similarities, and so then you can kind of find the different parts that you can work together, because like Tamara was saying, that there's some parts about her that are great, and there's some parts about me that I'm struggling in, and we can balance each other out. And that's really what a partnership is about, is that if you have two people that are strong at something, a lot of times they butt heads. If you can find with a gracious heart that this person might be better than you at something, instead of trying to beat your head against the wall, trying to be better than them, or ask yourself why you're not as good as them, work together as partners on how to balance each other out and how to both bring it to the table for your team, for your challengers, or whatever it is, and work together instead of against one another. So that's really just kind of a mindset. Does anybody have any questions about that, or did anybody take the test?
I do have one question for you, Mindy. I looked at the test briefly. Can you kind of give a directive as far as speaking from your childlike self? Because at this point in time, like, I just look at how I've evolved as a person. So if I'm talking about my 8-year-old self or my 17-year-old childlike self, it's still a very different person on how I would answer from my viewpoint to that.
I take it from like a 6, 7, 8-year-old standpoint, and a lot is you can always remember stuff, but like for me, I always used to think that if before life got in your way and changed who you were. Because I know I was one of those inquisitive people. Because there's a lot of, I used to think that I was no fun, but there are parts of me that are yellow. I'm just more of a blue personality. But my parents squashed the yellow out of me. So I always thought that as a young adult, and especially being 15 on my own, it would appear that I had no yellow personality part in me, because I was busy trying to be a grown up. I had my first kid at 18, and then I've been focusing on business only. So if you can try to not rush through that part and go through it as be able to mentally put yourself in that part of your life, you'll get the best results. Another thing is too, I love all of this work because it's not just about motivating your team, but it's also getting to know yourself, your true self, because that's the one thing I love about Beachbody, is that this is our vehicle that really helps open up why we were created, why we were designed, what we were created to do, because so often we get so confused on what we should do, that we forgot what our greatest gifts were as children that somebody else tried to change. And the cool thing is I've had my kids take this, and because they're all different, I have 3 kids and 2 stepkids, and they're all so different. So the way I talk to them, the way I motivate them are totally different. So it can help you in a personal aspect as well. So I hope that answered your question.
Mandy, you had a question, right?
No, I was just raising my hand because I took the test.
Okay. What's your color, Amanda?
Blue.
Blue.
Yeah.
I work best with blues, by the way, I think. I'm a red. I'm mostly red. Like when I go back and I know some of you have said you took it, you should, I check my email, I literally just searched color code and it pops up. And so I'm 70% red, and I have some blue and some yellow, and I have 0% white. I don't know. That must be interesting. But I have 0. So if you haven't done it, totally do it. Anybody else want to share what they are? Or Danielle's a blue.
The cool thing about this, they give you little cards too that can help you. even like go through this so that when you're talking to people, you can kind of like, if you just listen to them, you can learn so much about people, and then you can follow their cues on, you don't have to change your message. You just change the delivery of your message. And then they'll become more receptive to you. I saw the other question was about the language of love test. No, if you just type in the 5 love languages, you can take that test. You can take it whether you're in a relationship or you're not. Why I have people take that is the next part, is because you know that the 4th vital behavior that they've added is recognition. So that is super important. It will help you in your marriage as well. And that's something that I truly am big on. Tamara and I have talked about this, that, with issues in the past, like, with relationships and my current marriage, that when we're in this business, we are changing like rapidly, and it can cause a lot of issues in your marriage. So it's, and some things just can't, are the focal points on there, and you realize that, you need to get out. And there's other times where, I've seen people, you need to work on it. My husband and I have issues here and there. But having the 5 love language test has helped myself with him understand me, and me understand how to recognize people on my team. Because here's the thing is, there's different love languages that people have. Mine is like gift giving and words of affirmation. Like, it drives me absolutely bonkers when like I see these, men or women that they write this like pretty much love letter of like pouring out their genuine heartfelt, love and like adoration, and how proud they are of their spouse, and you see a lot of that in Beachbody. And then then there's my husband, like my birthday comes, like every anniversary comes, nothing, and I'm like, why can't you do this? But that's my love language. Like, literally, like Tamara posted the other day, like I hit a big goal, like this nice post about me, and like that meant more than anything. Like, she could literally, like, I mean, like that meant more than anything, is to have those, words of affirmation for me. And like, and I noticed that I attract a lot of people like that too, that usually were people like me that never heard it. And so they're really big at giving it, and they're really big at wanting it. And my husband, he is somebody that's acts of service. Like, so he went and washed my car today. He went and, like, our big comforter, we have a dog that just gets the comforter all hairy. So he went and sat at a laundromat because it's like impossible to wash at home, and did that. Though that's like his ways of showing he loves me, he's uncomfortable with like words of affection and affirmation and gift giving. Like, that was one thing, is like, not big on gift giving. But then I realized I had to sit back and look, when I give him a gift, he's real uncomfortable. It's uncomfortable for him to open it, so he doesn't do that to me. And so like I see like that helped enlighten a lot for me. And same thing with my coaches. It's like I have done like words of affirmation for people, and then they just like it, and if they don't ever perform, then I'm just like, what? And then there's other people that you literally can send them a handwritten card, and they're gonna piss all over themselves, and they'll do anything for you. And so those are the things that most people love on other people the way that they're wanting to be loved. And then if those people don't love them the way that they're wanting to be loved, they're like, but I do this for you and you and you and you, and you don't give it back. Well, you have to understand that people love differently. It doesn't mean that they love you less. It doesn't mean that you love them more. It doesn't mean that they're not lovable or not loving, but that helps. And that's something that you really need to understand in this business, because we are recognition based, and you need to, find what motivates them. I mean, some people are motivated by gifts. Like I know the people who are motivated by gifts, because if I'm like, I'm running a competition, whoever hits, I don't know, we had the Houston core that I spoke out with Barbie Kalev and Sigi, and a bunch of people came, and it was like a $150 ticket to this event. And I was like, whoever has the top success club points, and I knew instantly the two coaches who'd be going for that, and they did. Like, I mean, that's the thing, is like, you know how to get people going. You know what their not their motive is, but what motivates them. So those are the things I think that are so important, that you can know the compensation plan, you can know all of the ins and outs of the challenge packs, you can know the binary system, you know all that stuff. But if you don't know how to talk to somebody, if you don't know how to speak their language, if you don't know how to love on them the way that they need to be loved on, or if you don't know, a lot of people just don't understand that there are different ways to show love and accept it. And that was me in the beginning. Like, I was good at building relationships, not really good at like sustaining, and I've gotten better. And, you know, so if you're not great at this, like, understand that these are all tools that you have that you can tap into, and that it won't be wasted time or energy, because it's going to help you become more in tune with who you are and maybe why relationships didn't work in the past or friendships didn't work. And, you know, and the greatest gift with that is you can always go back and apologize and fix it if you need to. But it also will help you have better relationships with people in your life now, and it will help you form better quality relationships with strangers, and it will move faster, and you'll understand them better. So I hope that those help. So the last thing I wanted to talk about, Tony Robbins. Like, I have been a big Tony Robbins fan. I signed up and have my own Tony Robbins life coach that I've been working with, who's helped me immensely. But I attended Unleash the Power in San Jose in November for the first time. Like, I knew that it was going to change my life, because I'm really big about personal development and really big about attending live events, mostly because I have ADD. And, like, honestly, they say that if you go to a live event, you only actually retain about 20%. And so, like, I was like, that's probably the most I'm ever going to get, because it's very hard to read something. But I got so much out of Tony, which it all just kind of made everything sync together, what I learned. And so, you know, you may have been familiar with this. Like, I posted some information about it that may have been passed on to you leading up to this call. But all humans, regardless, male, female, it doesn't matter who you are. And this is something that I learned. Well, I knew it, but being at Unleash the Power, we were in the San Jose Sharks, their hockey team. What is it? Not auditorium or whatever it's called, arena. And there's 10,500 people there from 54 countries. Okay. So it doesn't matter what your culture is. It doesn't matter what time zone you're in. It doesn't matter what country you're in. It doesn't matter anything. All humans are the same. There's 6 fundamental needs that every person has in common. And it's how do you say it? Every person's like lot in life is to have these needs met. The drive to fulfill these needs is just like deeply rooted in who we are. So this is something that you're going to need to be more aware of about yourself. To see what your core motives are, to see, you know, what maybe you're lacking in, because this is kind of something that all these things are important, but some people live by, you know, some of these more at a higher level than the others, that are neglecting others, which can cause an imbalance in life, which can cause depression, which can cause unhappiness, which can cause lots of things. But people find ways to meet these needs in a positive way, negative ways, and other ways that are neither one. And one of the ways that Tony talks about this is 9/11. We have people, you know, firefighters, you know, people that are in, you know, service work, that were running in burning buildings, knowing good and well that they would never come out. They would never see their family again. But it was so important to them to find significance by going in and, you know, being that hero, that fallen hero, because they would be remembered as that, and then they didn't care. So there's these heroes that are doing this for to meet a human need. Then we have the people that were, you know, responsible for what happened on 9/11, for the, you know, the crashing of the Twin Towers. And they were doing it for the same reason. They wanted some significance because, you know, to their God, to their country, it was the loyalty. So the thing is, like, people have the same needs. They just meet them differently. Some of them are negative. Some of them are positive. Some, you know, it doesn't really matter. So you have to understand that everybody has the same needs, just they may not find a way to get that need met the same exact way that you do. But every person finds it regardless. Any activity, action, or emotion that fills at least 3 of these needs becomes an addiction. So I hear this all the time. I'm somebody who I'm like a little over a year sober. I grew up with, you know, lots of drugs and alcohol addictions because of just the lifestyle that I had as a child and what I did to just get through life. But last October, I decided to cut alcohol completely out of my life, and I decided to stay that way. But, you know, I've heard people talk about addiction before, you know, when I've gotten off cigarettes and drugs and, you know, now alcohol, you know, people have their different theories about addiction. But I realize now that, you know, some people believe that it's a disease. Some people believe that it's a choice. It's really up to, I'm not going to argue that that fact, but I get now that those activities I was doing were meeting certain of my human needs. And so that's why I became addicted to it. And that's why once I found something else to meet my need, I don't have those problems. Like, I don't need to drink alcohol anymore. I don't need to do drugs. I don't need, cigarettes to de-stress. But there's always a way to fulfill the need. And you really need to find a sustainable way to do it so that's healthy for you. So I'm going to tell you the 6 human needs. The first one is certainty. You need, each individual needs to know that you can avoid pain and gain pleasure. I use that little simple human need all the time to talk about how to get started on the journey all the time, because, our brain is an 80-year-old brain that's still hardwired, that is literally in our body there to just protect us. I get a lot of people started in Country Heat. I don't know if anybody's a fan. I wasn't when it first came out, but I love that Country Heat is, you don't have that crazy soreness. Like, if anybody's done 21-day fix, P90X, 4-to-4s, that day 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, you're thinking like, Jesus, I am never going to be able to sit on a toilet or a chair or get back up. And if it's the very beginning of your journey, you just think like, this is death. Like, I can never make it. So I talk to people all the time about how Country Heat, you feel like, like heaviness of your legs and some soreness, but you don't have that lactic acid buildup that makes it feel like you're going to die. And your brain doesn't start telling you that you suck and that you can never get through it and you're lazy and that you just, and that's because our brain is wired to know how to avoid pain and gain pleasure. And so why Country Heat has been working for people is that they're not trying to escape this painful thing that they already didn't think that they could do. So, when you know these little human needs and you help people understand themselves a little bit better, is how many times have you heard people say all the time, I just don't understand why people won't do this. Well, they don't even understand why they're doing half the stuff that they're doing. So this is very helpful so you can understand yourself and understand other people. Also, on the opposite end, people like uncertainty and variety. They need the unknown because they like to be stimulated. That's why smartphones are so big. That's why, we're even seeing like workouts that are shorter now, 30-day programs, 30-minute workouts. People like just have, ADD, ADHD is pretty popular. I mean, I had it before it was even popular, so whatever. But people like have that they like that. They like something new because you hear it all the time, like, I'm in a rut. I just, everything's just so average. So they need that. Also significance, the feeling of being unique, important, special. That's something that everybody deserves. Also, love and connection, which is a very strong feeling of closeness with somebody or something. That's also why the Team Beachbody community is so popular. Once people actually get involved in a challenge group, get involved with their coach, get involved with other challengers, go to events. I'm big on events. But once they see all that, then that's when they're invested. Once they get that love and connection, and especially I see that the demise of family lately, and so more and more people are drawn to this. Also, growth and expansion of capacity or capability or understanding. Tony always says, if you're not growing, you're dying. So that's the thing is, your business can grow, and then literally if you do nothing with it, it's gonna die. And so that is something that is, a human need. I mean, it starts from infancy. You're growing, and then you hit a point where you start to die. And so, you have to understand that. And also contribution, a sense of service and focus on helping, giving, and supporting others. I have some notes here that I wanted to share with you. So breaking it down, down the 6 human needs, the certainty, we really want to make sure that we're working hard to master something, or getting over a fear, or lowering the bar, because that's part of the avoiding pain and gaining pleasure. The certainty or uncertainty and variety is just, the saying goes, variety is the spice of life. We want to try new things, significant. Tony talked about there's so many different ways that people get significance, by serving, by dominating. You can even see it in the way people dress. Like if they want to just, you see people who dress real funky, their hair's crazy. They want some sort of significance. And, some people say, oh, they just like attention. you know, call it what you may, you can see that that is the one that they're leading off of is significance, that they want to make a stand. Love and connection is something that, you know, I talked about earlier, is that it's a key to our survival, that you literally have to have some sort of connection. And the biggest problem today, when you see the divorce rate high, and it really struck me for being somebody who's been married 3 times, is when he said that so many people now settle for connection and not love. And I was like, that's pretty strong, is that people don't feel a connection, and they're always searching for something, and they feel a connection and relatable to somebody, and that becomes love, and it doesn't last because it's really not true love. Contribution is something that's very important, and what we are doing as coaches is contribution. It makes us feel personally, you know, alive and vibrant when we're helping people. One of the things he said was, we grow so we have something to give, and if you don't have anything to give, your life has no meaning. And so that's kind of the long and the short of just the 6 human needs. You can Google or go to YouTube and, you know, type in the 6 human needs and learn a lot more in depth about Tony. And I also actually have all of the Creating Lasting Change, which is like a 10-day series about his about how to create lasting change by identifying the 6 human needs and targeting people to figure out how to identify which one is the most important to them and how to find leverage to help them. Because, you know, if somebody, you know, loves uncertainty and variety, like my husband, you know, loves chaos all the time, like, you know, being like, oh, you know, you can sit at home all day long and, you know, work from your home, you know, your computer and talk to people every day. That would never get him ever to be like, oh, sure, let me do what you're doing, you know. But for somebody like who loves contribution, you can look at that. You can look at people in the service work. That's why, you know, you have people that are nurses that are, you know, work in, you know, social welfare, that are always trying to give back to the community, to do good. They're great coaches because they, you know, and that's how you can lead with them, is the contribution part. Like if you're, you know, going to them saying like, you know, I want you to join my team. I know you would be a great coach. Well, people say that to people all the time, and they're like, I don't know what the hell you're talking about. But then if you can talk to them about, you know, when you're doing this, you can feel completely satisfied and fulfilled by helping people every day. You can sit and connect with people and be able to share with them this and this and this and this. When they feel that they're contributing and that's their human need that really gets them going, then you can get them motivated. And then I feel that, like, if you're, you know, for me, like, I found my husband who like lives by uncertainty. I was number one, certainty. I was the person who had to know. I had to know to the penny what was in my checking account. I needed to know what time I was going to bed, who was going to be here, what I was going to do, what I was going to wear, you know. And then we got together. He turned my world upside down, drove me crazy. But now what's funny is when I'm looking at this, I live by the uncertainty. I love the not knowing and the changing, and I'm able to accept that now. And so, like, you know, at any point in time, you can change, you know, the level that you're living at and these 6 human needs, where, you know, most people will feel so out of balance in one area that they go all in on the other. And so this has been very eye-opening to me to look at the structure of how my life has gone over the last couple of years. And it's made me more aware too, where I need, like, for me personally, where I really need to work on is the contribution outside of just Beachbody, you know, spirituality wise. And so this has helped me, and, you know, your story may be totally different, but being able to understand these and to kind of look at where my life is, I was like, oh, okay, I can do this and this and that. And then having a success partner is, you know, helping me actually stay accountable to what I need to do. So I hope that's been helpful. I know I covered like 3 different spectrums in the relationship, and like the Tony Robbins, like I literally could talk to you for like days. So it didn't even hold a candle to it, but I am more than happy to share with you the information that I have in my Google Drive. The only thing is, it's a 10-day series and it's on different discs, and the way it loaded in my Google Drive is kind of funky. So like, if you listen to it, you're going to get great content, but it may be totally out of order. So anyways, that's all I have to say.
Maybe we'll have to do a 10-day group, you and I, on that. That'd be fun. That'd be fun to do. So thank you so much. Yeah, no, Marcy, totally, like, awesome call, wealth of info. Like, this is what working with somebody else, you know, bringing your strengths and someone else's strengths together. Like, Mindy, that was so awesome just hearing your fire about the time that you spent. Events, I totally agree with you, are so crucial. I didn't mention it at the beginning of this call, but Super Saturday, guys, like those events are quarterly. I know Amanda drives from New Hampshire. Like my face lights up when she walks in the room, like, yay! I love to see her. I love to see all of you guys there. I'm actually going to share with you all something I've shared with Mindy, and so you're the second ones to know. I'm actually stepping off of the council so that I can spend time with my team at these events. Like that's really, I've lost out on that, and so this last Super Saturday will be my last one as a council member, and so I would love those of you who can make it there to be there with me, to kind of cheer me on and saying, you know, thanks for what you did, but come back to us. I want to spend more time with you guys this year, and 2017 events are just so enormous, you know. So listening to Mindy talk about, you know, when Eric Worre comes close by and he's in New York, or whoever your guru is, right? And I know Danielle said she just saw that movie too. I Netflixed it too, and I was like, oh, you know, I'm not your guru. Like, no, like we all have our person, right? I listen to Darren Daly every morning. Like he's my, you know, I like Eric Worre. I like a bunch of different people. I love Shalene Johnson, like whatever she says, I'm like, yes, okay. You know, we all have our person, right? Like, and so Mindy like has fallen in love with him, and that's great. Like we need mentors from afar like that. So attending events like that is something you should absolutely, as you build this business, pour back into and attend. And so Super Saturdays are so uber cheap to attend for events. So definitely get yourself to those and find somebody like, you know, like some of these power people that we're talking about, then, and follow them and listen to what they're saying. If they, you know, some people love Dani Johnson. Like I haven't even gotten into her. She's not my jam. I don't think. Maybe I would if I got into her a lot.
These who got me into going to events. I went to an event in early 2013, not even knowing who she was or what it was, and that's what sold me on events and personal development.
Yeah, dude, it's just crucial, guys. Every time I shared in our Emerald page, I'm glad you had mentioned that too, Mindy. Like we're, you know, our goal is to help you guys who are not yet Emerald, get Emerald by Wednesday. If you guys have coaches who are interested in getting to Emerald, you know, it just started today. There's time to catch up. I added a whole ton of people. There's a bunch of people that are in there now. And we're just focused on helping you guys close out this year strong. But I shared something in there that was from a new guy I had never even heard of, is a podcast, and his stuff is like awesome. So I'm loving listening to him and the stuff that he's putting out, you know, virtual upline. So guys, just be, you know, this is what Mindy shared tonight, I think is something that I too want to grow on. So I love learning from her. I think I'm going to get those cards off of that website and really read, you know, your personality. Like I know that I struggle with whites too. Like the white personality, I'm like, I just don't get it. Like, you know, I connect more with blues. I connect with reds because that's who I am. I get yellows because I love to have fun, but I'm not driven by that fun. It's that polar personality that if we can figure out, if you can if you can unlock that key to that challenger who's motivated by your opposite personality, like what could we possibly unleash, right, for our business in 2017? If you could unlock that coach who just seems to be just like, you're just not connecting with them, and they're in your downline. Maybe they're not your PS coach, but they're in your downline, and you're responsible for working with them, and you can't get to them. If we could figure out how to work with them, our business could be that much more powerful. So I'm committed to learning more about the color code myself. I actually have it up on my desktop, and I'll be reading through that as well as the multitude of messages that I have to return tonight. I'm sure you guys are having uber conversations with like hundreds of people. I hope at this point, you know, everybody is waiting for you to invite them. Guys, please, for the love of all that is holy, send 15 to 20 invites. Like, I'm not kidding. Just go into your friends list and just copy and paste. I've given you guys scripts. Just invite them to the health bet. Like, they're not going to reach out to you. So many of you have only just gotten started on this journey, and they're not going to reach out to you because you haven't shown the longevity yet. They're still watching you. And so you need to throw them the life preserver and be like, I'm here. Come with me. Here, come with me on this journey, join my health bet. If you don't send those invites, and yes, who cares if they ignore you? The other 10%, if you send 10 invites, one person's going to say, yeah, tell me more. Let's talk about this. Like, you help 2 people this month, guys. 2 people. That's what I'm asking of you. That's what our company's asking of you. Let's get to help people get to what it is we need to do. So yes, I will totally do that. So yeah, guys, I'm so proud of you as a team. I'm excited to see what we're going to do together. I'm excited to see what Mindy and I can do together over 2017 to bring to you. So if you're not in our Emerald group, like, you should be.
I don't, just so you guys know, because I know I have a lot of people who are like, well, I don't know if I should do it. It's the end of the year. What do you have to lose? Go out with a bang, knowing that you tried. I mean, you never know unless you do it. I'm contributing $100 and what I'm having everyone do. So there's a little bit of skin in the game, and so it's fun. Because I have some coaches that are just sitting with one coach away from Emerald. Is that if you have a coach that wants to participate, you're going to donate $10 on top of it. So we're going to have a cash pot. And so whoever wakes up as an Emerald on Thursday is going to get part of this. So, I'm donating $100. So, and you have every person, their coach is going to put $10 in for them. So if you walk away as an Emerald, you're going to at least get that $10 from your sponsor. I mean, obviously we talked about motivation today. Money might not be your motivation, but hey, $10 is a great way to start 2017. So I just wanted to share that with you. Just kind of, it's been fun for our team in the past to do that. And then it also makes people, if your sponsor's putting $10 in there, then the sponsor comes in and checks on you and doesn't just leave it up to me to do.
Absolutely. And of course, Maria, white personalities rock too. Are you white, girl? I'm shocked by that you're white, but that's interesting. Of course they are.
For a while. I haven't taken it for a while, but last time I took it, I was white.
Oh, take it again.
I feel like there's a little white bashing going on.
No. All right. Well, I don't want you to feel like that. So I'm glad you mentioned that. I don't want that to be that way at all. I know what I struggle with. And I think that that's important for us all to know where our weaknesses are. And it's definitely my weakness is in working with those white personalities. And that doesn't mean that everybody on this team who's white, I don't love you. Like, my God, of course. It just I know that's a struggle. So that's interesting. I'm curious to see what you are now, though, because you've been working a whole lot. But a lot of that is ingrained personality stuff. That's who we are, right? And we learn how to work with both our own personality better with other people and vice versa. So I'm a work in progress too, guys. Like, just because I've been doing this longer than you doesn't mean that I don't have a lot of room to grow. A lot.
I mean, I think it's part of personal development too. Like for me, like to learn how to, like I have to learn how to deal with like a blue personality, and be like, okay, they're blue, and that's how they communicate. It's not personal or whatever,
Absolutely. Yep. No, totally, Maria. Yeah. Like, and vice versa. Completely. I need,
for me, I had to learn that, like, wow, I can't write off every white person because they remind me of my mom. Like, I didn't realize that at that point, like, I had to really deal with some forgiveness to my mom, because, like, that's not fair to have a personality trait and me be like, oop, can't ever deal with you. You remind me of somebody I hate. Like, and that's why I tell people, like, literally the relationships you have, and the same thing. I have a lot of, I told myself that I've had a lot of abandonment issues, and I lived in that space for a long time, that if anything happened, it was, because I was abandoned, because I was adopted, and I told myself that was why things happen. And to be honest, a lot of stuff that's happened to me has happened to people who didn't have abandonment issues. It was just a label that I could slap on it. But I realized, too, that whenever people would leave the team, that I poured my heart and soul into it. Because I'm telling you, anybody who comes onto my team, I do. I literally want you to be my best friend. Even if you're a white personality and I know we're going to have to, like, kind of really work extra hard to understand how to work together, I do. And then when people leave and I've given you my all, I've always taken it so personally, like, oh, they left me. And I had to, as part of me getting my own life coach was to be like, how do I get past the whole abandonment issues? Because that was literally interfering with it. Then I would stop inviting people because I'm like, they're just going to leave anyways. And these are the, I'm telling people this, I've been in this business for 5 years. I hit a lead. I, built a strong team. I branded myself, and like I still have these issues. And so the thing is, I have after years, I know how people, when they're just starting and before they've even touched personal development, where they sit. So I can't stress enough the importance of understanding yourself first, working on the parts that need to be, worked on, and then really moving forward to doing whatever you can to forgive the people that have caused you to put up walls, because it will determine your success in this business. It doesn't matter how many spreadsheets you have or anything, analytical. You have to understand yourself and build relationships with people.
Absolutely. Thank you guys so much. Thanks, Mindy, so much for everything that you shared tonight. I'm excited to do this with you this year. And thank you, everybody, for showing up tonight. All right, let's go on do some inviting before bed.
See ya.
Good night.
Bye.